Okay. No. Well, I hope you have a better week. Let's get started. Who remembers what story we learned about last week? Do you guys remember? Do you remember?
There was a fire involved.
There's a fire involved. Yes, there was a fire involved in the story. Do you guys remember what happened with the fire?
3 people got in the fire.
Yeah, why? Why were they put in the fire? You guys remember?
They wanted to eat vegetables, but the food was not vegetables.
That was the story from the other week, right? The vegetable story was about Daniel and his friends. Last week's story was about the fire, and there were 3 people that were put in the fire by King Nebuchadnezzar. You guys remember? Because Daniel's friends didn't want to worship any other god, right? Because they wanted to only worship our true God. Okay, now let's continue on to the next story today. And this one is probably going to be an easier story to remember, right? Does this look familiar? I see the pictures?
Yeah.
Okay. The story today is In the Lion's Den. When Darius was king of Persia, he gave Daniel an important job. Daniel was in exile from Jerusalem, but the king trusted him. The other officials were jealous, and they came up with a nasty plan. They knew Daniel prayed every day, so they had the king sign an order stating that anyone who prayed to any god except the king should be thrown into a den of lions. Daniel continued to pray, just as he had always done. His enemies rushed to the king and told him. Darius was sad, but he could not change the law. "You have been loyal to your God. I hope he can save you," he said as Daniel was thrown to the lions. That evening, the king did not sleep a wink. At first light, he rushed down to the pit. "Daniel," he cried out, "has your God been able to save you?" He was thrilled and amazed when he saw Daniel sitting among the lions completely unharmed. God had sent an angel to shut the mouths of the lions. "Your God truly is wonderful," said King Darius, and he ordered that everyone in the kingdom should respect and honor Daniel's God. As for the wicked men who had tricked him, they were thrown into the pit themselves, and this time the lions were ruthless. Okay, do you guys understand the story?
It's good enough.
Yeah, you guys understand? Okay, you guys ready to answer some questions then? Here's an easy one. Who was that story about? Who remembers?
Daniel.
Daniel, yes. It was about Daniel, right? Who was the king during this story?
Darius.
King Darius. And what was the new law that King Darius approved of?
Everyone should pray to Daniel's God.
That was the law that he didn't want, right? He didn't want people to pray to Daniel's God. He said that he wanted only those to pray to him, right? And anyone who prayed to any other god would be thrown into the what?
Lion's
The lion's den, yeah. And who was the person that was thrown into the lion's den? Daniel, that is correct. And the next morning, Darius was so worried about Daniel because Daniel was his friend. And what did he see in the lion's den? Who wants to tell us? Who wants to tell us what he saw when he went to go check up on Daniel?
Daniel unharmed.
Yeah, Daniel was unharmed because God sent an angel to shut the mouths of the lions, right? And then the bad people who tricked the king into getting Daniel in trouble, what happened to them? Who remembers?
They got thrown in the den.
Yes, they got thrown into the den, and then the lions ate them all up, right? Yeah, they were ruthless. Okay, thank you guys for listening to the story. Are you guys going to remember for next week? Yeah? Try your best, okay? Okay, so as you guys go back to your seats, how about you grab a piece of candy? And what do you do with your trash, guys?
Give it to Jack.
Throw it in the trash can. Thank you, guys.